We can tell what's important to us by looking at where we spend our time and money. In our family budget, there's a line item for personal development, which corresponds with time allocated on our calendars every month. Books, webinars, conferences, mastermind groups, coaching, and of course, self-paced online courses in subject areas that we want to strategically grow in. Here at How It All Works, we would love to be part of your personal development. We have a growing catalog of free resources available on YouTube, and we're excited to add to them self-paced online courses through our website, kirkrnugent.com/courses. There you'll find training specific to live streaming platforms, live video strategy for remote producers. You'll also find our mastermind group membership, which is a great partner to any of the courses you register for. Thanks to our sponsors, our prices are very reasonable, and we're posting new products every month. Visit today and let's figure out how it all works. Haha, what is good, family? It's good to be back on the show. Good to be back for another week of How It All Works. Excited for tonight's guest and excited for tonight's content. The theme for the month: why I go live. And last week we had none other than the bishop of finance, my financial coach, Don Daniel. It just really came through and killed it, man. If you have not caught that episode, you owe it to yourself to go and check that thing out, man. And for those that are joining us and you're brand spanking new, you've never seen me or this platform before, I just want to give you a quick introduction, a quick introduction. My name is Kirk Nugent, former missionary and IT exec turned content creator and live video coach. And I've been given the title the Geek Speaker Preacher, and it really embodies my passions, technology, media, speaking, and ministry. I'm growing intentionally on a number of social media platforms, but my primary focus is on YouTube, where I teach small businesses, entrepreneurs, and faith-based entities how to harness the power of live video. We have a saying here that goes like this: your live stream is your digital storefront, because there's no greater way for people to experience your superpower, what it is you have to offer the world, than for them to see you do it live. There's something that happens while you're live, y'all. Like something that, that's base level, something that's innate that people respond to. And so when people see you live, they don't need the ad campaign. When people see you live, they don't need to see the examples, right? When they see you live and they see you breaking down that thing that you're so passionate about, when they see you answering that question off the cuff with no preparation, and you go into the details, you really geek out, as they say, they are already sold on the product or services that you have to offer. And that's what I want you to be able to harness. Live video is the vehicle. It's not the point. The point is your message. Live video is the vehicle. We want to make sure that you have your driver's license, right? We want to make sure you have your driver's license. We want to make sure you know how to drive out here, man. We don't want you to be crashing into nobody. We want to make sure that you can harness the power of this vehicle called live video so that your thing, your fill in the blank, can be made known in the world. Let's get into our announcements real quick. I see Gary Jones is out here. David Kennedy, what's good? Seesaw Studios comes in #1. You're first tonight, bro. Appreciate you, Doc. I really do. David Kennedy says, oops, hello. Listen, right now, you see on the screen right now, 31 live streaming tips to grow your audience. This is the ebook, fam. Go ahead and grab it. 31 live streaming tips to grow your audience. It's on my page. Yes, Chris Stone, student driver here for class, professor. I love it. What's good, Chris Stone? Thank you so much for being here. I almost want to do a little sound effect, but that's for our Amazon Live stuff. All right. But on the screen right now, you see it. 31 live streaming tips to grow your audience. 31 live streaming tips to grow. This is like a 1 month guide. You can take one of these tips every day for a month. And I guarantee you by the end of that month, you will have taken to your live stream to the next level. Even if you're a seasoned live streamer, these principles, practices, tips, these things will absolutely either be a great reminder for you to fine tune and hone the craft, or it'll be a great first impression, right? Because for some of us, some of those 31 tips you've never heard or never seen before. We're getting ready to turn this into a video series, so stay tuned for this. Stay tuned for this. Thank you, Gary Jones, for doing your good work in the comments. My moderators are some of the best on YouTube, fam, so go ahead and hit that link if you are interested in this book. Go ahead and hit that link if you're interested in the book. Listen, this is the latest video that we have on the channel. Ecamm plus Video Ninja. More than 4 guests in Ecamm. Huh? Wait a minute, Kirk. You can only have 4 guests. There's only 4 possible. Don't worry about it. Go ahead and catch that video, howitallworks.com. If you go to howitallworks.com, you're going to see this live show that we're doing right now. Yes, Why I Go Live with Dr. Sidney Freeman. You're going to see that one. And then right below that, you're going to see this graphic that I have on screen right now, Ecamm plus Video Ninja. VDO.ninja is the site that makes that possible. But I show you the step-by-step process in the video. So check it out when you get a second. Like I said in the lead in, this is our show for the month. Like, this is our topic for the month. And I want to say this, I said this last week, I'm going to say this every week. After this month, we're taking a break. After the month of April, in the months of May and June, we will be taking a break. We're taking a break to retool, to fine tune. We've got some major projects that we need to focus in on. So after this month, we will be taking a break. And because of that, the after party is free. The after party is free. No $5 cover charge. The after party is free. So if you go to buymeacoffee.com/KirkRNugent, you see that in the ticker throughout the show. If you go there, you can grab your ticket, join myself and my guest, Dr. Sidney Freeman, on Zoom for a few minutes to chat it up after the show is over. And I'm so excited about the lineup this month, man. Don killed it last week. I fully expect the same tonight, and we're going to have a great time with JP High Tech and Corey and Lakita Staten as we close out the month and we close out this season and we prepare to take this break. Man, this is going to be dope. I also want to make sure you guys are aware. I hope Chris Stone is still here, man. I hope Chris Stone is still here. Chris, I hope you're still here, brother. All right, Lakia is in the comments. She's like, what's up, everybody? You got to make your presence known, Lakia. I love it. But this is what we got on screen right now. VidFest Expo. There's an Amazon Influencer Day. I am going to be one of your speakers. I'm excited about it. And if you haven't checked out, I was on the Dealcaster show a week or not even a week ago, less than a week. Actually, it was exactly a week ago. I think it was last Monday, right, Chris? Chris is here. He says, yes, sir, I'm here. But yeah, I was on their show and I gave everybody a little taste test, a little sneak peek of what you can expect from my talk at VidFest Expo, May 26 to 29 in Orlando, Florida, at the gorgeous Hilton Orlando Hotel. It's going to be dope. If you ever wanted to meet all of these influencers in person, this is going to be the place to be. Chris says, I still got chills, man. I love it. I love it. I'm excited about this. Look for more from this. I'll be sharing with people the promo code that will get you a discount in the newsletter. So make sure you're signed up for the newsletter, kirkrnugent.com/sign up. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter so that you can get the promo code. If you want to join us if you're already in Florida, maybe you're going to be in Florida, maybe you just not far from Florida, you want to head down there, you want to come to this conference, get this promo code, get a few dollars off on your ticket. Come join us for VidFest Expo. I think it's going to be an amazing experience, not just to learn about Amazon Live or VidFest as a whole, which is a great conference, but also to be in the space and in the place with other like-minded people. There's no price tag on that. I don't even know what else to say to you. There's no price tag you can put on being in the place, in the space with people who are doing this thing, right? Who are pushing the envelope, who are not taking no for an answer. That's like something will rub off. I just got to be in those places. That's how it was in San Diego last month, and I fully expect it to be that way in Orlando next month. So make sure you come check us out for VidFest. Man, listen. Some big news for our April our April masterclass. Our April masterclass is going to be on the 24th of April, the 24th Sunday, the 24th of April. We'll have our masterclasses. We got some big news today. StreamYard is going to be sponsoring, and they are going to give us some major giveaways to give to some lucky participant in the masterclass. So you guys are gonna wanna make sure you're there in the place, in the space for the masterclass. And as you know, all of our masterclasses are taken and made it into courses after the fact. So there's a myriad of masterclasses. That's what the promo video was on the lead in. Wanna make sure you guys are aware of that and you take advantage of it. All of this stuff, kirkrnugent.com will get you to all of the things that you need. So I want to make sure that you are aware of that and that we are moving in the right direction. This entire month, we're going to be talking about why I go live. But the whole point of why I go live, reason why we're honing in on this topic is because we want to make sure that if you have something you want to share, if you have a message you feel passionate about getting out there to the world, you have a calling that is burning up inside of you, and you just know, I must share this in some way, shape, form, or fashion, I think live video might be for you. And I would love to be able to have a conversation with you. Go ahead to the website, start your live video journey today. We can help you. That's what the flyer says. And if you look closely, I don't know what you're watching on. If you're watching on your phone, it's gonna be hard to see. But if you're watching on a big screen, hope you're watching on the big screen, then you'll be able to see that all of the screenshots behind that message are client projects. Some of them are client projects that we have produced. Some of them are projects that they are self-producing, but they have, utilized some of the services from us here at Composition to get started. Start your live video journey today. We can help you. I'd love to have a discovery call with you. If you are in a place, in a space where you're like, man, I need to, live video. I need to figure that out. Come chat with me. I'd love to help you put some of those puzzle pieces together, figure out what would be the best path for you. Maybe if we're a good fit for one another, and we can go from there. Simply Ball Dropping Podcast is on the live. Listen, this guy right here. He took advantage of this. This guy actually met with me today to go over his podcast, and we had a really great meeting today. And I've got got a whole email lined up for you, man. So look out for that tomorrow morning. But I'm excited that you're here today, and really excited about, yes, Learning Healing Mentoring Group is here. Congrats, Dr. Freeman. Yeah, really excited about my guest today, Dr. Sidney Freeman from the Liberation Movement. This guy, man, somebody that I look up to, somebody that I highly respect, somebody whose opinion I seek out, and I'm excited to have him on today, and we are going to have a blast. So without any further ado, let's get started. Woohoo! Yes, we got him. Yes, Dr. Sidney Freeman is here with us on the show, on the live, How It All Works. Doc, what's good, man?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Man, I am excited to have you. We're excited to jump into this conversation, man. You have some people in the comments that are already, greeting you, putting some things together. And my moderators, again, I keep saying this, they're the best in the business. They already posting those comments, those links. So if you guys want to know more about the Liberation Movement, Gary Jones just posted the comment there for us to see. Love that. Thank you so much, bro. But Doc, listen, we want to dive right into the content today. I want to say a word of welcome to everybody that's here. I want to say a word of welcome to my podcast crew, my replay squad. Make sure you leave a comment. Podcast crew, make sure you send us an email, info@howitallworks.com, and we would love to hear from you. We'd love to hear how this content is impacting you and what type of content you would like to see more of. So we'd love to hear more of that. We'll make sure that you have some of the links that are being shared in the comments already by our moderator crew for the live folks. I see Dr. Ty Douglas is here saying, let's get it, Doc Freeman. Come on.
All right.
Listen, we're gonna start right here. This is where we start with all of our guests on the show. We ask them this question because we want people to know. Look, there are some people that are here that know you well. I see Dr. Freeman, Dr. Douglas in the chat. I see Dr. Holly Fisher Hickman is in the chat as well. So I know some people here are already familiar with you. But tell the viewers a bit about yourself, your story. And of course, a little bit about the Liberation Movement, which is your baby. You are the founder. Talk to us.
Well, thank you again, Kirk, for this opportunity. And if I'm honest, a lot of what we've been able to do with the Liberation Movement has been in partnership with your company. And so I want to start out by just saying thank you for you and your wife and the work that you've done. So essentially, I had during the beginning of the pandemic, after the George Floyd murder, there was a whole lot of discussion about, what's the church going to do next, right? And so we were locked in at home, and I had this question about how can we decolonize the Black mind?
Wow.
In particular, we were hearing things online about the church and things that needs to be done, and I said, man, how do we decolonize our minds? Because we don't get our minds right, we're going to still be having some problems. And so uh, I reached out to a colleague, Dr. Tiffany Llewellyn,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and pitched this idea to her about doing just one broadcast on decolonizing the black mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked her what platform should I launch it on, and she said, "Why don't you do it?" And I was trying to figure out how do I get on somebody else's platform to do it. He said, you can do it. And so
I love that.
I heard about this thing, StreamYard,
Come on.
uh, and I got like a trial. I got the trial version,
Mm-hmm.
and the week before I was fiddling around with it, but I asked my wife if she would learn how to use it. And then as I was fiddling around with it, I just, it wasn't coming to me because I wasn't used to working with that program.
Broadcast. Right.
So
Right.
yeah, yeah. So I reached out to Kirk because I knew, he was kind of the guru amongst our community. I reached out and he said, "Listen, we're doing this as a business now. Would you want to partner with us
Right.
to
Right.
make this happen?" And I asked my wife, um, what did she think? And generally, she's very contemplative. She takes her time. When I told her, Kirk said that he was willing to do it. She said, "Yes, right there." That's like almost never happens. And so we got some of the best thinkers
Yeah.
I could find in my Rolodex, and based on that one program, we went
Yeah.
Adventist or some of
Easily.
the Adventist viral,
Easily. Easily.
viral, and the rest is history.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. The content that you share with, I mean, I think there's somebody that's watching right now who's still stuck on the phrase decolonizing the black mind. Like they're stuck there because they're saying to themselves, wow, like just the concept of it's self-explanatory, and yet it requires so much deeper thought. Because what does it really mean? How do all the puzzle pieces fit together? And I just love that origin story of, of what you currently do. But tell people a little bit about you. Like, who is Dr. Sidney Freeman? Where are
Oh
you?
yeah,
And give
yeah,
them a little bit more about, about you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So originally from Camden, New Jersey,
Nice.
went to
Nice.
a private boarding academy, Pine Forge Academy. So I've been away from home since the age of 14,
Oh
and then
my
went off
goodness.
to. So I went off 4 years, uh, and from there went to Oakwood College at the time, now university,
Hmm.
and got my bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies. And so my
Nice.
areas were vocal performance, uh, actually public relations, so communications,
Oh, snap. Yeah.
and business management, and still got out in 4 years.
Uh-oh.
Um, and after that, I knew I wanted to be like a college president because I call myself an academic activist. And
Come on.
so from
Come
there,
on.
for my master's and doctorate, and went to Tuskegee, worked at Tuskegee after I finished my doctorate at Auburn, and now after 4 years there at Tuskegee, I became a professor at the University of Idaho.
Nice, 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 nice. See, one of the things I also love about live video, that I think the audience needs to be able to focus in on is that there is no box, like just like a driver's license, right? I'm going back to that analogy earlier. There is no box, like there is no, so like who doesn't need a driver's license, like unless you don't want to drive. Right, there's no profile of a person's like no they don't need a driver's license, like no I don't need live video. Like this is a educated professor, right, with all of the different credentials that you could ever want or need. This guy is published. He's bearing the lead a little bit. You know, we don't do humble here, but he's bearing the lead a little bit. He's published. This guy is actually in a visiting scenario right now. I don't know all the terms. You know, I'm not. That's not my space. But he's actually back in Philly right now doing something right there. So this guy is pushing the envelope in all of these different spaces. He has actually gone viral on a number of different platforms for some of the things that he's doing. I saw something on LinkedIn. I saw something also on Twitter as well that went viral. But what I love is that even from his perspective, like, boom, here's a scenario where live video can really help me to have a megaphone for this message. So you had a concept around decolonizing the Black mind that then became the liberation movement. And I love that. And I love that origin story. But I also want people to catch, right? I want the audience to really hear here that the initial, it was supposed to just be one, right? I mean, am I correct? Yeah. It was supposed to just be one, just one live show, one live conference with a number of really heavy hitting speakers and thought leaders in the space. But it ballooned into a number of other conferences and then into a monthly live show called Saturday Soul. So it took on its own life because people were requesting more. Donors started showing up. I don't want to tell the story myself, but I want to kind of toot the horn a little bit because I want people to recognize, because Doc Freeman and his lovely bride decided to take this step, bet on self. I always say this to people is I am not going to make your message any better or worse. I'm simply going to give it to people in a vehicle that is, you know, it looks good. It's a good looking vehicle. The live show that we're going to put it in, it's going to be a good looking vehicle. But what ended up happening, the results, the feedback, right, from people who viewed, I think it was like 500-600 people that watched that first one. It was ridiculous, the amount of people that watched. I mean, clearly we had struck a nerve, and there was a need, a hunger for this kind of content out there. So just give people a little bit more about that origin story, and not from the perspective of, okay, you know, this is why we use live video, but was that instance your first foray into the content creator space, or had you done other things before? What led you to say, like, this was one of the ways that you wanted to be able to share your message?
So essentially, this was kind of my first foray.
Oh, wow.
One of the things that it actually enhanced was, for instance, because of some of the work I was doing academically, it forced me to take my production level up to the next level, right? Because when I started out, you know, I didn't have top of the line cameras and things like that. I would be on the news at home because we all were locked in at home, and you're just using the camera that comes with your laptop, right?
Yeah.
And so with having the liberation movement and having others saying, man, we got to take it up to the next level.
Yeah.
We need to get this message out. It allowed us to take this thing seriously. And get the type of equipment, partner with the right people to take the message to the world. The great thing about a platform like this is that you can take it to places, to people. For instance, initially we were just concentrated on people that were churched, as you would say, right?
Yes.
But then it became bigger. How do we decolonize the Black mind more broadly?
Right.
And so I also want to share that. So I have expertise in education. So my doctorate is in education. So it's not necessarily, I don't have a degree in Africana studies or Black studies, but it allowed me to be a thought leader, as I would like to say, in the space of Black thought by having this platform during that particular time.
Wow, man. Listen, I hope y'all are hearing what we're talking about here. Like, this is this is quite literally my slogan. Like, this is what live video can do for you. It can establish you, right, as a thought leader in a given space. And I think this is what Dr. Sidney Freeman has experienced, right? These are some of the things. I see David Hunt is here, and if David Hunt is here, that means we can really begin. But no, that's really dope. Dr. Freeman, man, I tell you what, there's uh, there's something to be said for taking that step, and I think we could stay right there for the rest of the entire show, honestly, because there's so many people that are stuck saying to themselves, okay, who's going to set it up so that I can support it? You get my point. It's like your lived experience has kind of tailor made you to be in the space that you're in now. Not to say that you've actually gotten a degree in this space, that's what you just said, but because of the circles that you run in. I mean, honestly, your Rolodex is coveted because the people that you had on that first show and subsequent shows were heavy hitters in the space. So there's something to be said for, like, man, as we began to plan, I realized, like, I'm kind of situated almost perfectly for this. And a lot of people find themselves right at the stage just before that, where they cannot find what it is they want to talk about, or the impetus, the motivation, their why, as to what would make them take that step, that initial step, to get out there and get their message to the world. And so we're going to share this audience question with everybody right now. What is your target audience? Right? This is our audience question. So we're asking you, the audience, what is your target audience? Right? You have content. If you're watching this live show, if you're listening to this podcast, if you're catching this on the replay, you are probably in the space where you're dabbling in content creation of some sort, form or fashion, right? So, but now the question becomes, who is the target audience for your content? You heard Dr. Freeman talk about having to expand because it was almost like it was too small for to just keep it for the church, because there were pieces of this puzzle that needed to be done for others as well. But who is your target audience for your content, your live show, or your podcast? Go ahead and talk to us in the chat. And while you do that, we're going to hear some words from our sponsor. Oakwood University is a historically Black higher ed institution located in northern Alabama. Their entrepreneurship center is called OU Launchpad, and it's founded on the startup concept of a launch. They provide critical access, resources, equipment, and services for dreamers and entrepreneurs, giving them the systems necessary to bring their vision to reality. Their signature event is Entrepreneurship Week, which happens once a year and exposes hungry minds, both young and young at heart, to the world of ownership. For more information or to become a sponsor, visit oulaunchpad.com today. One of the things I absolutely love about having a live show is the sponsor process. Sponsors make the world go round. Some people say sponsors really grease the wheels and make sure the trains run on time. Sponsors are the unsung heroes that really do the work. And I'm excited about our sponsor this month. And our sponsor this month is OU Launchpad. Excited about them and all that they are doing in the city of Huntsville for young minds, young creators, young entrepreneurs specifically. I had the privilege of working with them to set up a studio in their space for entrepreneurs to be able to come in and actually do live shows, for entrepreneurs to be able to come in and record stuff, gamers to come in and do some of their thing. And so it was really fun to be able to partner with people and organizations like OU Launchpad. And so the link is in the comments. We'll make sure that link is out there for the rest of you as well. But while we were in that little break, we wanted to hear from you guys. And of course, Doc Freeman and I are going to try and answer this question as well. But we did get one answer from Gary Jones, and he says, social workers, human service professionals, educators, and small businesses. These he says are his target audience. And so the question was, who is your target audience? Who is your target audience for your content, your live show, or your podcast? Who's your target audience? So that was Gary's answer. Doc, what's your answer to the question? Who's the target audience for the content that you put out?
Black and African American adults. And so, um, and so I'm really kind of honed in. We center Black folks. So this is
Mm.
not though you can have secondary audience and
Oh, yes. Oh,
tertiary
absolutely. Absolutely.
audiences, but our goal is to focus on empowering Black adults. And
Wow.
so
Wow. Wow.
we're excited about what we've been able to do and what we're going to continue to do.
That's good, man. That's good. I'm looking in the comments to see if anybody else has answered that as well, but I don't see that. But I mean, I'll take a crack at it and say that uh, my audience, my target audience, or my core audience is really small businesses, entrepreneurs, and faith-based entities. Small businesses, entrepreneurs, and faith-based entities. Because I really, one of the things I like to do, folks, is live the experience. I like to live the
Yeah.
experience. So I am
Amen.
a small business. I am an entrepreneur, and most of the things I do is faith-based. So I can speak to them. I can provide services for them. I can share content for them that is very specific to their lived experience, because their lived experience is my lived experience. And so I wanted to kind of
Right.
give you that as a cheat code, everybody. This is not a trick question. It's literally found in your story. You just have to mine that gold wherever it might be. And I think you kind of heard that even as Doc Freeman was sharing who his target audience is. And here's the thing. He used the term secondary audience, and I love that, because it gives me the opportunity to kind of give this other segue, because that's the truth. Like, because you have a core audience doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have a secondary audience. Like, just because these three areas are my lived experience doesn't mean I can't then also serve somebody who's kind of sort of outside of that. And I love that. I love that piece of the journey as
Yeah,
well.
can I jump in really
Oh yeah,
say something
absolutely.
really quick? Yeah, so
Absolutely.
so I remember after our first couple programs, there was a white Presbyterian minister that was following our program. I had a white nun who
Mm.
cried after just seeing it, just uh, viewing our content. And
Wow.
so, although the content was targeted to Black folk and center Black folk, it was also moving and done so well that people
Mm.
could connect to it, even though they weren't necessarily the target audience.
Wow. 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 This actually takes us into the next question. Because I mean, this is your what you just said actually takes us into the final question. But I want to pause right here for just a second, because this is so good, and I hope the rest of you guys are tracking with us. How does live video, how does your shows, your conferences, the events and summits that you put on in a live fashion, how does that play into your overall strategy for the liberation movement?
I would say it's really our primary strategy because we were birthed out of kind of live streaming, right?
Right,
And
right, right.
so that's our bread and butter. And I would say that people will ask me, what kind of things are you doing in the community, like on the ground and things like that. Because you mentioned small business,
Mhm.
because we're a small organization,
Yes, yes.
and to ensure that we don't spread ourselves too thin, what we've done is honed in on what we have expertise in. And my
Yeah.
wife and I are educators,
Yeah, that's
and
correct.
so we have expertise in education. And so what we're doing is using this online medium to get
Mm,
educational resources out to the people.
that's
That
right.
does not mean that we can't partner with my friend Dr. Ty Douglas with SALT and do some things on the ground.
Right.
But the primary mission is based on using on this online medium to reach our targeted audience.
I love that, man. I love that. Hey, Kevin Cox, what's good? David Hunt says, if the like button is transparent, make it solid. I love that. I love that. I love that. No, man, Doc Freeman, you are hitting on something here that is very powerful. Because again, you're going back to that same premise. You don't have to. don't look too far. I want somebody to walk away tonight and really, internalize this message. Don't look too far. It's not a trick question. Okay, how do I make this practical? No, look inward. Look at your own experiences. I mean, that's what Doc Freeman just said a second ago. It's like him and his wife are educators. They decided, we're going to put together an educational program. This is what we do. This is the way we can give back. This is the way we can have impact. And I would like to see that educational program become an online course. Why? Because it's about scale, fam. The crux of the question, why I go live. I can impact more people live and with the replay and with the repurposed content like the podcast than I could ever impact if I just do one workshop. Like I could fly around the entire globe for 365 days and still not impact as many people as my 30 videos on YouTube. 30 of them. Okay, let's do 10 of them. Because even just 10 of them is going to have ridiculous, crazy impact. I mean, he already talked about some of it. And then, in fact, that is our next question. What has been the impact of your show for your organization? You talked about the Nun and these other folks. Talk to us about what that impact has been.
Yeah, so one of the things that what we see is that our program has been able to be intergenerational, and so we're really proud of that. Whereas we're getting people that are millennials, but we're also getting those that are in their 60s that are engaged with our content. We're very clear about our niche and where we're trying to aim.
Yeah.
And so what's happened is having an online presence like we do has allowed us to formulate some of our, like we're working on some courses and we're working on some other materials. But one of the things that we've been able to do smartly was not to scale too fast. Initially, I was feeling like I got to scale and have a program every week or every day. And I'm like trying to do that. And, I got coached up and they said, listen, drop something once a month. So I'm speaking to maybe an audience member that's thinking about like, how am I going to maintain this? How am I going to do this? Sat down with my team and said, listen, do one program once a month, and then over time you may grow it more. But right now, just take your time and grow. So I think we have a steady group of people that are with us and supporting our message, and I believe we're making an impact.
That's dope. I love because okay, you're looking at it and you're sharing with us all of the different critical pieces about how the sphere of influence, that's the term I was looking for. I wanted to say impact, but I wanted to say it a different way. The sphere of influence that the liberation movement now has is expanding. And I love that you are giving people some practical advice in terms of scale. It shouldn't be, right? Let's be clear. I want to free somebody up to know that viral is not to be desired. I think only in online spaces do we ever equate viral to good. Because in every other instance, come on, Doc. In every other instance, if you say COVID-19 has gone viral, we are all like, oh no, it's a bad thing. And I want people to understand, like, steady, methodical, proven track record type growth is to be preferred. And somebody, I think somebody's going to be able to be freed up right now. Like, oh snap, maybe viral isn't though. No, because viral means it's out of control. And that's where you can't control, you can't scale it, you can't put it into a box. But here's what I love about the impact of live video. And Doc Freeman, again, I'm lobbing this thing up there so you can spike it, because at the end of the day, you alluded to this earlier in terms of, establishing yourself as a thought leader in this space. But one of the things I want to make sure you touch on with folks is some of the testimonies from people who have watched your content. Not only that, the opportunity to interview people. I want to be clear on this, y'all. Like, if Doc Freeman didn't have a show, would he be able to interview the president of several universities and HBCUs? Live video gives him a platform that now says, hey, I'd love for you to be able to come and chat with my audience. It puts you in the driver's seat. I want people to walk away with practical, tangible. And here's another critical thing. Doc Freeman is now being invited. He was being invited before, but he's being invited to speak on several high profile, highly coveted platforms. And why is that?
Oh,
go ahead. No, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
So what you just reminded me of is, so last week we're putting out, so I'm at the University of Penn. I'm serving as a visiting scholar in the Office of
you
Provost.
See what I'm talking
Office
about,
of the Provost.
Yes.
So the Office of the Provost, for those who may not know, that's the person who's second in command to the president of a college or university. And this is an Ivy League institution.
Come on.
We're putting on Thursday, we're putting on a symposium, a virtual symposium for all the Ivies, and we're going to have representatives from all the Ivy League institutions around the country, along with several others like university elite institutions like University of Chicago and Duke and others, right? And so in preparation for that program, we were going through run sheets and creating run sheets and things like that. So these were all things I had already done. because of the work, coaching of Kirk, but in addition to that, but just having this platform. So when they said, do you know how to interact with this new interface, right? I've been interacting with StreamYard,
come on,
and all these other interfaces. It gave me the transferable skills to prepare for that.
Wow. Listen, these are the intangibles. The truth of the matter is we have no idea how deep the rabbit hole goes. We don't know where your live video will take you. That's like Doc Freeman is giving you a small window into what has happened for him in the spaces and places that he is in. And some of the doors that has opened. And to be clear, some of those doors had nothing to do with live videos, just because of the stature and the magnitude of the man that he is. So I want to be clear on that, right? He by himself is a wrecking ball by himself. Right? I want to be clear on that. But the fact that he had this platform, this is so critical. I love the way you framed this, Doc Freeman, because some of you your live show may never, now this is not the case with him, but your live show may just be you getting ready for an opportunity that's coming. You just never can tell, right? It'll put you in a space where you already have the reps under your belt, like you are already comfortable under that weight because you've already done that weight before. This is. I want to get somebody unstuck. I said this to Doc Freeman in the pre-show. Was like, I want to make sure that people leave unstuck. And if you are hearing the testimony of Dr. Sidney Freeman and the liberation movement, you are hearing what is possible when you step into the unknown, when you take a chance on yourself, when you decide, I have a message to share. I'm going to create this platform. I'm going to create this space for this audience to galvanize around this concept of not only liberation, but decolonizing the Black mind. What are some of the issues, systemic pieces that go along with it? These are the things that allow us to win. And I want to show you guys some of the resources. We're in the plug your hustle section now, Doc Freeman. I want to show folks some of the resources that you have available. And if you haven't seen it already, I say sharing on social media platform. I love it. Slow and steady wins the race. Seesaw Studios. I love it. But if you haven't already seen the links from my moderators in the chat, they've already put some of these links on the page for you guys to be able to take advantage of. We're going to have these in the description of the video for those that are watching the replay, and for my podcast crew as well. But yeah, this is drsydneyfreemanjr.com. And this is what we're showing right now. The book, Thriving in Unfamiliar Spaces, coming soon. But I want you to see this page and definitely check it out for yourself. I'm not going to stay here too long, but you can see some of the resources that he has set up for people to be able to consume, for people to be able to really look at and understand, some of the types of things that and that he does. Now, this is his page. But then we also have the liberationmovement.com as well. And then there are articles here. There are other resources. Doc, just take a second and talk to the audience about some of the things that you have coming up next, ways that they can support you. Wale says much needed work, Doc. And I love that. I'm glad that you are here as well, Wale. But Doc Freeman, just take a second, talk to folks about different things you have coming up next. I know you're in the middle of a 3-part series on Saturday Soul. Talk to people a little about some of those things, because they're going to want to know, how can we find this guy? How can we follow? How can we support what you got going on?
Yes. So one, I will start with the Dr. Sidney Freeman Jr.com. That is kind of the for-profit side, where we're doing speaking and also coaching. We're particularly coaching around issues related to faculty success. So I
Nice.
was able to navigate the tenure and promotion process, and I want to show others how to navigate that process. Uh,
Mm.
and so that's a service that we're launching to provide to those that need that. But but then on the nonprofit side, which is the liberation movement
Mm-hmm.
side, is we have something called Saturday Soul, which is uh, the last Saturday of each month,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it's at 1 o'clock. It's at 1 o'clock, uh, and you can find it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, you can go to my page, my YouTube page, Sidney Freeman Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
and you can also find it on the Liberation Movement
Yeah. The
page
watch
on
page.
Facebook.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, if you the watch, yes, yeah. So, or there's a watch page on the liberationmovement.com.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the dash
Oh yeah, they put it
liberation
in the chat.
dash.
They put it
Uh,
in the chat already. Yeah, they got
yeah.
it in the chat. So
Okay. Great. Great.
the
Great.
link is there in
So
the
on
chat.
the
Oh
web.
yeah, Gary
So
Jones has already got the link on the screen for us.
great.
But yeah, I just wanted
Thank you
them to
so
know
much,
that
Gary.
there's a watch page. Oh yeah, Gary's, the moderator crew here is second to none, man. But there is a watch page on
Yeah,
the
appreciate
website,
that.
and you guys can I'm telling you, it's here. I have been paying attention to this 3-part series that Doc Freeman has been holding under the topic Covering Naked and Betrayed with Minister Rodney Vanderhorst. It has been the last Saturday, or sorry, is it third or fourth Saturday of every month? But the next one is coming up on the 30th of April,
The
and
last
that'll be the
Saturday.
final one. But you
Hmm.
can go to this page. You can actually go and consume the previous 2 videos before the next one that's coming up. But I think, it's so many different things that we can talk about here. But no need to prolong or belabor the point. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about all that you are doing, Doc, and some of the things that we are seeing in this space together. I'm just glad that there's one thing. I cannot end the show without saying this, but I'm glad that we were able to connect and we were able to work with one another. But here's what I want people to know. I am no longer producing Dr. Freeman's show, and that is okay. I want you to know that. The reason why I want to share that with you is because that's the natural progression. This live video vehicle is something that you can learn, is something that you can do. And it is something that if you are intent on taking this journey, we here at Composition, KirkRNugent.com, we want to take that journey with you. And Doc Freeman is one of those shining examples of a team, a husband and wife team who, and along with others, I don't want to make it too
Yeah.
small here. I want people to know that there's a large board and full organization around the liberation movement. But Doc Freeman and his lovely wife Linda are the real engine, and they are pushing forward and they're doing this thing on their own. So I get the privilege of actually sitting back and watching them do this thing. I'm like, look at that. They're off on their own. They're doing this thing. And I love that. I absolutely love that. Some people are like, what are you're working yourself out of business. No, this is the point. I want people to take the training wheels off and try it for themselves. There will be times and moments, we talked about this in the remote production show. There will be times and moments where even I don't want to produce the show myself. I will have a producer come in. That's appropriate. There's times where you don't want to fly the plane yourself. You're going to get in your seat, buckle up, pull out a newspaper and read. Or you're going to allow somebody to take you to the destination. But then there are times where you want to get behind the wheel and you're going to drive yourself. You just need to know the difference between the two. And I know that if comes a moment where the liberation movement has to partner with us again, we're going to have that, that partnership as well. But I'm excited to see them off doing this thing for themselves, because I think that is what it's all about. I want to pause here and say, if there are any questions, if you have any questions for Dr. Freeman, for myself, if you want any questions around live video, but I do have one last question I want to ask Dr. Freeman, but I wanted to pose this to the audience. Fam, if you have questions, now is the time. My moderators are already putting it in the chat. If you want to join us in the after party, the Zoom room is going to be available. In fact, I'm going to go back to our screen real quick so you can see. You can grab your tickets right here. Boom, look at that. I want to highlight that joint real quick. That's $0. It usually has a number there. So you can actually go ahead and grab this right now. buymeacoffee.com/KirkRNugent. The link is in the chat. And you can join us in Zoom if you want to ask any follow questions, any final questions of our guest or me today. But my last question for you, Dr. Freeman, is the title of our series. Doc, why do you go live?
I go live because I have a message to share with the world.
I think that is the perfect way to end our show today. I go live because I have a message to share with the world. It's so perfect. It's one sentence, it's bite-sized, but you may have needed to just come and hang out with us for this live show today just to get that one sentence. And so the question becomes for all of us, do you have a message to share with the world? And if you do, you probably need to have a live show. Man, Doc, I want to thank you so much for coming through and hanging out with us tonight. This has been absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to go ahead and close things up, but don't go anywhere. And we will definitely look into having you come back and hang out with us again. Man, this has been an absolute pleasure. The time always just flies by. I never know how is it possible that we can, just go through the hour. We only have really 2 core questions that we ask our guests, but it is always interesting to hear those responses and have this discussion, especially with a live audience. I'm hoping that you guys are seeing the trend. You're seeing a pattern, a common thread through this Why I Go Live series. Don Daniel shared it with almost volcano-like passion last week. Doc Freeman is sharing with you as well, and he shared with you some of the impact, some of the stories, some of the people who weren't even a part of his core target audience that he was able to affect because he decided to get off the couch. He decided to put pen to paper, put one foot in front of the other, and get his message out there. Live video is not the only way. I know that. And live video is not for everyone. But if you are interested in any way, shape, form, or fashion in utilizing live video to get your message out there to the world, please tap in with us here at Composition LLC. That's the name of the company. That I know they just like, where Composition come? No, Composition LLC is the name of the company. Tap in with us. Hit us up on KirkRNugent.com. Right there on the top of the page, it says client examples. It'll show you some of the things that we've done. And you also have the ability to schedule a free discovery call where we will chat with you to figure out what is that path for you. Is this path right for you? And are we a good fit? Man, I absolutely love this series. I'm excited for next week when we're going to have my guy JP High Tech on here from Perfect Zone Productions. It's going to be awesome. You guys need to know that Content Creator University is the name of his show, and he does a really, I mean, like the production, everything, absolutely phenomenal. I've been on the show before. I'm excited to have him come and hang out with us, and we're going to hear why he goes live. Fam, it's your boy Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher, hoping that somewhere in the video today we got you a little closer to figuring out how it all works. And we'll see you, family, in the next video. Later.